Okay, welcome everyone. Thank you for coming today. We're going to talk about studying during a pandemic. And I would like to welcome my good friend here, Rifa Ahmed. Uh, so she's a recent graduate from the University of South Florida, and she graduated in mechanical engineering. She's very smart, super hardworking. She also has a social media account called the Improvement Journal. And on there, she goes about how to be the best version of you in life and in work. So I'm gonna leave a link in the description after, and you can just check that out and give her a follow. So thank you, Rifa, for coming today.
Thank you, William, for inviting me to be on this video. I'm very excited to share my insights.
Yeah, it's been a crazy year, and I'm sure a lot of students would find this video very useful. So that's why I kind of wanted to do this, but we'll just kick it right off. Um, when COVID started, I was still in school. I think I had like 2 months left. So like for me, it wasn't such a big deal. I think like I I only had 2 months left of lectures, so just getting out of that, it wasn't a big deal for me, to be quite honest. But I can't imagine for other students that had to like permanently kind of transition into that. So, like, what was really hard about it for you? You know?
Yeah, I'll break it down for you guys. So basically, when COVID started, I was on my second last semester last year in March, and it was just like 2 months into the semester, and boom, we were all offline. And then I suddenly found myself in a place where I could not take advantage of any of the in-person office hours. And some of the office hours that were scheduled online would be just like during the times when I'm busy or like when I'm working. So I could not take advantage of those. And then I also found myself that I missed having the opportunity to sit beside someone in class and then having that opportunity to ask them for help if I needed it. Also, when we transitioned over to a virtual environment, there was a lot of confusion about how to use technology for both professors and students, which really slowed down our learning process, and people needed a lot of time to get used to that online environment. And a lot of the platforms were also a bit slow and frustrating, and this really impacted my studying abilities. And I also felt like I was slacking off a bit because I lost my discipline because I was just studying from my bed, or I'd get comfortable and watch Netflix while I study. So that really impacted me, and it was a bit stressful.
I'm Yeah, I'm definitely guilty of the whole watching Netflix and studying. And again, for me, I only had like to deal with COVID for like 2 months before I finally finished school. But like I imagine there's a lot of students out there just in their bed watching on online lectures and stuff. Do you have like any tips on how to just stay focused during your lectures?
Yes, definitely. I do have some tips that personally helped me when I realized that I was slacking off and it was, impacting my GPA. I realized that I really need to turn things around. And one of the things that I realized while being on online lectures was it's very important to take breaks. And I understand how exhausting it can be to stay focused on the computer screen for a very long period of time. So I would definitely suggest taking breaks every 15 minutes when you can. Or if you're like studying online and you feel like you're reading, sometimes you feel like you're reading the sentence over and over again, that's a very good cue for you to take a break. And I would also suggest that if the professor prefers live lectures, no recordings, try to get an app that actually records the lectures for you. Like personally, for me, I use an app called the Active Presenter that allowed me to record all the lectures, but also ensure that your computer has enough RAM to store those lectures. And of course, like if they're already recorded and the professor is, letting you take your time watching the recordings, make sure you choose a time of day where you feel the most energetic and most productive to watch those recordings so you can absorb as much information as you can. Another tip that I felt was very helpful for me was drinking lots of water, because sometimes when I would study in my room, I would just feel sleepy for no reason. And I actually looked it up. It's because you feel dehydrated or you haven't hydrated enough that makes you feel that way. And that can lead to sleepiness, and as well as your room can have an environment which is like super dry that dehydrates you. And also the whole Netflix and multitasking, make sure you avoid that as much as possible so you can get the most out of your day. Sometimes I would find myself doing laundry while watching my lectures as well, so make sure you get that out of the way beforehand and just like have 1 to 2 hours of complete focus so you can save all the future heartache of having to go over the lectures all over again because you missed something.
That's that's really cool advice. The water thing I kind of find surprising. I definitely don't hydrate myself enough. And maybe that's why I'm getting tired while I'm working. I definitely heard about the taking breaks. So take breaks, drink water, stay focused. Actually, I'm gonna throw in my little tidbit. So there's this really cool extension. I forgot what it's called, but I'll link it in the description. I think it's called like Block Site or something, that you can just block out like any social media or Netflix and you can put into specific websites. So I'll drop a link. That's really good advice. Do you switch around your study space? Do you just study like at home all the time, or do you go to a coffee shop, or how do you spice it up if you do at all?
So for me personally, I like to switch it up. I like to sometimes, before pre-COVID, I like to go to the library. Sometimes I would go to Starbucks and study. But because of COVID, all of them just shut down. And I was just like, I had to find like creative ways to study from home. And it got a bit difficult for me, but I did some research and I realized that it's very important to have like a specific workspace in your home where it's just you, your laptop, and the stuff you need to study. And it's also very important to choose like a well-lit area so you can focus more and your brain doesn't shut down on you and feel sleepy. Um, Also, while studying from home, I felt like when I felt sleepy, if I took a cold shower, it instantly woke my brain up. So that's a very good tip as well. And there are some important technology. In terms of technology, you should also keep in mind that you should have ergonomic built chairs and different technologies that could help you study better and also prevent any kind of physical damage to you while you study for long periods of time. And while you're in your workspace, you should make sure that there's no distraction while you're working. Like I mentioned before, like having laundry to do. Having laundry just lying around for me specifically, I would just feel like, all right, when I'm watching it, I could do it at the same time, but I'm just distracting myself.
Yeah.
Also like distractions such as the TV being on, that can, take away your focus. And it's also very important to like have a decluttered workspace, and that would help you keep more organized and also remove other distractions that you can fiddle with while you're watching lectures.
Yeah, like I find lately I've been watching a lot of TikTok. So it just on Instagram a lot. I'm just so literally I have to like hide my phone in the other side of like my house, and it's ridiculous. Like I'm just so on my phone all the time. So for me,
I
that's my
agree.
biggest problem.
Yeah, I
That's,
agree. I
yeah,
agree. Sometimes the phone is the biggest distraction. You just
yeah.
have to be disciplined enough to not look at it for when you're studying and when you're like trying to focus. It's a big struggle.
Yeah, it's like you like you don't even think about it. You're just opening your phone and you automatically go into Instagram and are like, wow, like what am I? But okay, cool. Now I'm I can't imagine like a lot of students coming in now and they're just not really getting to be quite honest, the full college experience, you know. So definitely there's like a very different social life now. And I don't know when that's going to change, but do you have any advice to the students out there? How did COVID impact your social life? And maybe you have some advice to share to the students out there.
So personally, when COVID hit, I realized that my social life mostly consisted of me just going out, eating with my friends and socializing that way. So I really missed that. I really did. I hated not having the opportunity to interact with people, talk to them, my social life was more like a stress reliever for me because communicating to other people and interacting with them outside my school life really motivated me. So what I like to do is, since for me personally, I like to have a little bit of a background noise when I study. If it's like absolute silence, then it kind of drives me crazy because I grew up with three siblings, and I was always in a house where there was always background noise. So I miss that environment that I used to get at school. So what I do is I'd go on YouTube and I would turn on coffee background noise. So it would give stimulated environment where I'm like in a coffee shop, and that would really help me. And sometimes I would also put on lo-fi music, and that helps as well. Since I miss the interaction of being around people, talking to people, on Instagram, I started following different engineering pages where those pages allowed you to network with different people, join into Zoom calls, share your opinions, share your college experience. So I started doing that, and that really helped me network with different people and meet new people on the internet. I also started listening to a lot of podcasts while I'm at home, and that really helped feel like, all right, there are people around me, they're talking. I would listen to like lighthearted podcasts, or sometimes I would listen to stuff that I'm very interested in. That helped me as well. And now recently I got into Clubhouse. That's a great app if you all wanted to check it out. It's actually an app that's kind of like a podcast where they allow you to get into rooms full of people and just share anything about yourself, talk about any topics that you like. You as a listener can also just tune into any rooms that you like and listen to people all over the world. It's amazing.
Yeah, Clubhouse is taking the internet by storm now. I am on Android, so I can't get on it, but but that's cool. I like the whole putting coffee sounds, or not coffee, like coffee shop sounds. I think that's very creative, honestly. I also grew up in a background where like there's just noise all the time, but for me it doesn't help me focus. Like it kind of does the opposite, and I'm like I can't think. But I do love lo-fi music, and yeah, I'm sure a lot of college students out there love lo-fi as well. But let's see. So I'm really interested to hear. I think this question, it really depends on the person, but I'm just really curious to see like what's your advice on this. So how do you motivate yourself to work, especially when you just don't feel like working, since you're working at home all the time and it's just a crazy year. How do you motivate yourself?
Right, that is a very good question. Well, so basically, I think there are three major things that I focus on and that really helps me going. And I would love to share that with you guys. And the first thing I would say, working out for the sake of your mental and physical health. Working out is big. Like whenever I feel down, whenever I feel demotivated, if I go for a run or even just a walk, just go around and walk around your neighborhood, you'll feel so much better and so much more focused and motivated, and your brain will get a refresher. So definitely working out is first on my list. And then the second one that I would go for is just picturing your bigger goal. Just don't think about what you're studying. What are your short-term goals? Write down your long-term goals, and every day try to read it out to yourself. And that will really help you stay focused and motivated. Like, yes, I am, like, personally for me, I would think like, all right, I'm getting my engineering degree, but why am I getting it? When I write it down why I'm getting my engineering degree and what I hope to achieve with it, that really helps me keep focused and really gets my productivity level up. So definitely write down your goals and maybe even stick it up on your in your workspace so you can look at it every day. And then the last one that I would bring up is eating healthy. I know, like, as college students, it can be a bit difficult to eat healthy. You have to be always be on the go. But since you are at home and you're studying from home, take this opportunity to really take care of your body, because there are lots of different foods and they're that are super healthy and that can really help you feel physically and mentally well. So definitely take advantage of this time.
That's awesome. I mean, so I definitely like, I totally relate. So like if I'm like, okay, why do I feel so stressed? And I'm like, well, I haven't exercised for like a whole week. And you're so right about that. Like I most of the times I don't even exercise for the physical part of it. It's more so just mental. Like I definitely feel so much better just after a run. I'm gonna go. You're motivating me right now to like go for a run after this. So I'm gonna do that. Uh,
Yes,
yeah,
definitely. Do it. Do
and
it, Will. You
yeah, I
got
will.
this.
Yeah, and then I also this one's kind of funny, but like I also like meditating. That really helps me. But uh, and so that's interesting. Well, let's see. Now, do you have we're pretty much going to end it soon, but do you have like any like apps or any extensions that you want to mention? That way I can like link it into the description to like just help you focus, maybe some like social media blocking apps or some self-improvement apps that you have in mind. If not, that's okay.
Well, personally, I'm just a huge fan of Do Not Disturb feature on on iPhone. I don't know about you though, Will. I don't know what Androids have, but I just switch that on, and that works pretty effective for me. It just blocks out all the calls, all notifications. And I think there's also been some updates on iPhone that allows you to block out certain things. Like if you just want calls, you can get calls as well. So definitely check that out.
Me hiding my phone does it works pretty well. Like it also has a do not disturb. The only problem is like I forget where my phone is, and I'm like, dang, and I'm like, okay.
I
Well,
agree.
this
I
is
agree.
yeah. Well,
Because
this is
sometimes it's like
awesome.
when you're sorry. So sometimes when it's like your phone is just lying there, you just, even if it's on do not disturb, you feel tempted to just grab it. So what I do is that I live in a townhouse. So I just like charge my phone upstairs in my bedroom and I come downstairs and study. So I don't see my phone for another like 2 to 3 hours and I just like off social media.
Similar concept. Like alarms, like when you have to wake up in the morning, I usually put my phone across the room. So kind of like a similar concept. That way I have to like force myself to get out of bed, and that usually does the trick. Um, yeah. But with COVID, like it's been so hard trying to get out of bed, honestly. Like it's like you don't, and I work from home, so it's, it lets me be a little bit lazy. But this is awesome. I really appreciate you coming on today. This was really fun. I think hopefully we'll get to do this again sometime. So I'm gonna leave a link in the description for the self-improvement journal, if I said that correctly, and
Yes,
the
it's
improvement journal.
yes, the improvement journal.
You're getting a lot of followers. Like I am making really awesome content. So I definitely recommend everyone out there that just interested in just becoming a better you, better student, better career professional to check that out. It's a great Instagram profile. And yeah, I'm really happy that you got on here. You're gonna do awesome things. You already are, but yeah, thank you so much.
Yes, I appreciate that, Will. I appreciate those kind words and I appreciate you inviting me here and taking your Saturday off to do this video with me. And yes, I appreciate Zublease as well. I see all the great, amazing things you're doing.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I love working on Zublease, and yeah, we'll end it here. Thanks everyone for watching, and stay tuned for the next video.